Hi, and welcome back to the Children's Bible in 365 Stories. Today we're going to pick up with story 35, Slave in Charge, which is found in Genesis 37 through 39, where a bunch of our stories have come from. And at the end of the story, we discover that the brothers had sold Joseph into slavery without the oldest Reuben knowing, who had come to secretly rescue him. And so when they went home, they took the torn cloak of Joseph's, covered it with sheep, and let the father believe that he had been killed by a wild animal. So now we pick up where we left off, and the ending was a powerful little sentence where it said that God was still with Joseph, even though he was now sold as a slave. When the Midianite traders arrived in Egypt, these were the caravan of camels that the brothers saw and bargained with to sell Joseph as a slave. They arrived in Egypt. They took Joseph to the slave market, where he was put up for sale. A strong, healthy young slave like him should fetch a good price. A man called Potiphar bought Joseph. He was an important officer of the king, in charge of the palace guard. He soon found he had a bargain. So he was the head of all the guards, and the palace was where the ruler of Egypt lived. And so these were the special trained soldiers who guarded the ruler to keep him safe. So this was the person, Potiphar, who was in charge of all those soldiers. Joseph worked well. He was able to plan and organize work for himself as well as obeying orders. He was honest and did not grumble or shrink his duties. Potiphar soon made Joseph his own special servant and began to leave more and more of the running of the household in Joseph's hands. Potiphar could tell that there was something very special about this young man. It was because God was with Joseph, even though he was far from his home and family. God helped Joseph to do his work well and made him successful. What an amazing thing. So even though he was being a slave, he did not grumble. He did what he was supposed to, the best he could do it. And God helped him to be an excellent person and an excellent slave in his situation and to excel at everything he was doing, even though he was not free. He was a slave, had been rejected by his family, abandoned by his family. God was still with them and empowered him to succeed in what he was doing. Well, let's turn in next time to find out what then happens to him now that he's in Egypt and is a slave to Potiphar, the head of the palace guard. Thanks for joining me. Be safe and have a wonderful day.